Live, going live. You should be live now. Okay, it says I'm live. Cool. So this is just a short tutorial. And we're going to do Photoshop an esports title like the title says. So we're going to need to open Photoshop to start with. So we'll just wait for this to open up. Give it a few seconds. And we're going to make a quick esports title that's editable. So you don't have to remake one every time you need to make an esports. You can just change the font and create stuff. So I'm going to create new canvas, 1920 by 1080, hit OK. And that's our new canvas to start with. Now our canvas background is, when you create a canvas background, you can choose the color. I'm just going to fill this, turn this black so that it's just filled black. So now I'm going to add a new layer with a font. So I'm just going to select the text, type in, you can type in whatever you want. I'm just going to write good serve now. And I'll scale this up. So you can choose the font you want. So I've got a few fonts. Let's start with something like this, scale this up. I'm going to center this. And actually what I want to do as well, just to, because when I make this into a layer, I want to make sure that the canvas is slightly bigger. So what you may have noticed, what I did, I just hit enter. I'm going to just press a little full stop. So now, first scale, where's the full stop? Okay, double click this, add the full stop. And now I'm just going to press enter, enter, enter. This will just, I haven't figured out a way to do this yet, but if I scale this down now, or if I go back to make this font, something like this, there we go. So when I right click now and say, okay, I want this to be so what we want to do is turn it into a smart object, convert to a smart object, there we go. So now when I double click, my canvas area is a little bit bigger than what it needs to be. Now I can go in here, just delete that. I haven't figured out how you do it, but I'm going to just keep it like this. Scale this down. Font down. There we go. And just center this up. Hit save. And I'll show you why I did that later. So I have a bigger font canvas size on this. So we're going to add something later, but you'll see. So we have our font. And you can get fonts from, let me just open a tab. You can get fonts from many websites. I just got some from thefonts.com, and I just picked some really good. You just go into Square. I just went to Square and got Dust Fine, and I've got a few others. You can type in a preview and hit submit, and then you can preview what that font may look like. Now, just to give you an idea of what what you're trying to create, just to save you time. Actually, it's quite nice. And then you install the fonts. I'm sure you can find other videos on how to install fonts. If you're not, you can always just go Windows and then just type in fonts, font settings, and you just drag and drop the fonts into your area here where it says drag and drop on Windows 10. On older systems, you go into the fonts folder. But so now we have our fonts. We have our font, and we want to make this look a bit more esports like. So I'm just going to go here onto our smart object, and we're going to apply a stroke to start with. So I'm going to add a stroke, and right now it's on the outside. We want it on the inside, and we want it we want to give it a tint of grey, so you can see it there. And I want to change the size of the stroke to maybe 2 or 3. Let's experiment. Let's see which works best. If I go to stroke, let's see what 3 looks like. I like 3. 3 seems to work for me. Depends on the font that you're using. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to duplicate this layer, so I can press right click, duplicate layer, or I can press Control J, which is a shortcut. And I'm just going to rename this layer reflection. So this is the reflective part. So you know when you see your most esports, let me open a tab. Let's go to esports logos. I spelled it wrong, but it will fix it. You see they have this two-toned titles. The titles are always like this, got this reflective, fake reflection. Most of them have it anyway. You see they've got this reflection, and that's what we're creating. So where we have the second reflection, where this what we call reflection, this layer, I'm just going to apply another overlay to it. So I'm going to just go here, go to color overlay this time, and choose a gray. Now you can play around with the colors and how dark or light this is, but right now we can actually go for a dark color. It doesn't really matter. So I'll go for a really dark color so we can see it. It's obvious. And what we're going to do is apply a mask to this reflection layer. So if we go here and you see this icon here, we can add a mask. So we've added a mask to this layer. Now what I'm going to do is just select the marquee tool and delete half of it. So you can delete half of it like that, or you can even undo. If you wanted it, you can just delete. You can see you can erase it. You can experiment with the mask itself, but you can do a lot. You can have funny shapes, so you can your reflection could be a wiggly. Um, you know, you can experiment with that as separate things. But for now, we'll just keep it simple, like what we see on most people do. They just kind of just have that half and half. Um, And what you can do is you can either adjust your overlay color here, or the easiest way is just to change the opacity. And we can tweak that depending on the look. So we just tweak it. I'm going for 40%, round that up to 40%. And I like that. Okay, so now we've got the reflection done, and you can change this later, play around with those. And what I'm gonna do is go back to our title. I'm just going to duplicate this again. So Control J, and this time I'm going to name this stroke. Rename this stroke 1. So now we have stroke 1. Place this at the back. We want to place this at the back. And under stroke 1, we want to double click the effects so we get the layer styles open. And I'm going to just uncheck stroke, and I'm going to check color overlay. Now the color overlay, you can give it it will be the stroke color that we want the first stroke to be. So we're going for, say, let's go for dark blue for now, and we can change this. And later on you'll see how easy it is. And hit OK. So now we've applied it. You can't see it. So what we're going to do is apply a filter to our smart. We're going to apply a filter to our smart objects. So it will be called smart filters. So you go on the other, and we're going to choose minimum. And in my settings, you can see I've got this set to square. By default, it will be on roundness. Set this to square. I believe it's, or maybe it's the other way. I'm not sure, but I'll set this to squareness, and you can tweak the actual stroke outline. So there you go. You can see there I'm just adjusting this as we go along. And at any point, I can edit this filter now. So I can just double click the smart filter here and change those values, which is quite cool. So it doesn't merge the filter down. So it's editable. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this again. Duplicate this. Same stroke layer, and then I'll call this stroke 2. Place this beneath stroke 1, because it's going to be right at the back. And we're just going to tweak the overlay effects and the stroke outline. So first what I'm going to do is change the effect. So I'm going to change the color overlay to a lighter color. So we'll go for the lighter blue and hit OK. And then double click the minimum effect and just expand that a little. And you can see already we have this kind of esports logo with the nice sharp strokes. I mean, you could add stroke effects itself, but it won't look as sharp as this, which is really nice. So you've already got, I don't know how long that took us, but maybe 9 minutes without me talking and wasting time. But you can do this probably shorter in 5 minutes or 4 minutes, you know. So what I'm going to do is shift select all of these layers and place them into a new folder. So I'll shift select them, just click the folder, it'll drop them in. And I'll just call this title. So this is our main title, and I don't want to mess around with that. But you can see what I can do now is go into here, where our smart object, if I double click it, I can change this title anytime, and it can say something else. So it could say, hello, you know, or actually you could say YouTube's, you know, YouTube. Uh, and then I can hit save, Control S, go back into my main, and you see it's updated to YouTube. Really simple and quick. And you're not just changing the title, you can change the font. So you can go around and say, well, I want the font to be something else. So I'll say, okay, I'm going for this one, and you know, I want to change the font size to this. Let's scale this down more. Or I want to change this letter and the T. Oh, I want to change the Y to be bigger. Let's copy that font size there and then play it to the T. Or actually, the E, maybe the E. And then just go like that, and you know, just reposition that just to make it center. Hit save, go back in, bam. Really easy to. So you got this editable title, which is cool. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a duplicate of this. So this is our original one that we can always refer back to, but I'm just going to make one that we can tweak more. So just drag this new folder, duplicate it down, or you can select the folder Control J, which is a shortcut. It does the same thing. So I'm going to turn this original one off, and I'm going to just call this one just the underscore transform, like that. So I know this is the one I'm going to be transforming. I'm going to be messing around with. So I'm just going to rename this back. So you know, you can change it to what you like. Let's go for what did I like? Kind of like I should like that, but yeah. Let's see, I'm just going to just looking at the fonts. I like that. That's fine. Okay. So I'm just gonna hit save. I'm just going back to this. Actually, what I'll do, just make this bigger, slightly bigger. Copy that value. Apply that to the all. Hit save. Go back to our scene. Bam. You can also oh yeah, well I haven't showed you the kerning, so you can change the kerning. So this is on 25 right now. You can make it title. You can spread them out more. If I hit save, you'll see when I go back in. You can see that as long as it stays within the canvas size, it's fine. But let's bring this back to 25. Hit save. So you can tweak the kerning and everything, which is cool. So on this folder where we've got the title transform, I'm just going to hit edit, transform, perspective. Now I'll say some of the smart filters will be temporarily turned off, and you just hit OK. That's fine. We're okay with that. That's just for the preview. Hit OK. Bam. The filters will be applied back after you finish your scaling. And now you can see already we've got this esports title really quick. So now, I mean, we can easily, what we can do is what you may have noticed is, if I go back in here, I added that little extra space of canvas. What I could do is, if I wanted, I could add a shape into this. So if I go bam, add like an elephant or something, or whatever it is. Let me just double click this, change the color to white, save, and you can see it's applied the same effect to that shape in that layer, which is cool. You can do it that way. That's one way. Other ways you could create the logo. Most people create the logo separate, you know, and draw it out. I'm not gonna create a little mascot or anything. Maybe we can just quickly Google one. But the idea of this tutorial was just to show you how you can create a title that's editable really fast, and that was the whole point of this tutorial. But anyway, let's just go to uh you know vector lion or something. I don't know. Get something images. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. This will do. Just as a quick example. I'm just going to just place this in the background and just as an example of what you can do. So of course you would create this yourself. You wouldn't be using this. I'm just borrowing it. We're not doing anything with it. We're not doing anything fancy. So I'm just going to delete that background so we have something. And I'm just going to stick that behind the title like so. Oh, not in the folder, just behind the title. There we go. So it's underneath. So now, so I have that logo there. Maybe I want to add a stroke to that. So if I go stroke, scale the inside or outside. Sorry, change that to outside. Just quickly scale this up. Apply color to it. Maybe give it the same color. You're gonna try different things, whatever you want. Yeah, okay. Experiment with that scale there. Nothing fancy, right? So we've got that logo, and can go here. I can go Control J, give it a brighter color. So I'll just duplicate that background color. I'm just going to hit colorize, Control U to bring up the hue and saturation. I'm just going to quickly change this. So maybe we'll go for the orangey yellow look, or like this. Actually, let's go for blue. So we go for blue. Is we stick with the blues, darker blue or something like that. I'm gonna just change the color of the line to like a blue as well, so, or purpley blue. There we go. So we already created something quickly from nothing, but you can see how easily it is to create something, and with the transform, that's quite cool. So I'm just say okay, move this down. You can even do what you can do. Say if you once you're happy with say maybe that keep that copy and duplicate this again, duplicate this folder, and we're going to merge this down. So I'm just going to make a new empty layer, just merge this down so that's flattened. Now what I can do is go in here, edit transform, and change the wrap. So I could just maybe adjust the wrap and warp it a little. So you're seeing there's some people that warped it, so I could warp that even. And there you go. So now I can always go back if I want. I can go back to this one, edit that, then flatten it, then just add the warp back in. That's one way of doing it. But yeah, you can see how quick I've already created this. Now what I could do is take this existing logo again. I'm just gonna place this in the back, scale this up. There we go. Go edit, transform, distort, bam. Let me just zoom out a little so I can see it better. Scale this up. So we're just going to create this as like a little background wallpaper. There we go. Nothing fancy, but just to give you an idea. Hopefully the stream's working, and now that stroke is more visible, so we can just like kind of maybe turn it off. And what I'll do is just do some overlay or something. I'll play around with the blending modes. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll change the opacity. Or, yeah, I like that. There we go. And it's a bit, you can see it's a bit visible here because we just kind of, there we go. We just kind of ripped the image and just done a quick background. We just ripped the background out. We didn't make it nice vector logo, but just to give you an idea. What you can also do is apply a cool thing, an extra bonus is gradient maps. a quick way of just coloring your thing, get different looks, styles. You can see how quick that was. Um, and then of course you can play with the blends as well if you wanted. You can try different blend modes, and you can get a different look really quick, really fast. Which is nice. And I like that. I kind of like that look. Where is it? Where's it gone? Kind of like that. Where is it gone? Make sure the lighter color. Kind of like that. But say I don't like the way that's the logo is affected. I could just pull that out and say, oh, okay, I want that there, and then maybe I want to just change that separately. So Control U, and then I can just tweak those colors there. Maybe I want to go for red, or doesn't matter. Colorize, or you can experiment. Let's go for I don't know why it's going greeny, but anyway, there we go. So once you've done that, you can apply your drop shadows there just to give it a bit more, break it from the background, move that around. You can put a drop shadow on that logo if I wanted. Um, you can see already it's like really easy to do. Okay, go back to my gradients. Maybe I want a different filter. Say normal. Yeah, it's really fun to do. But yeah, I can say desaturate that, or I can change that. So you can see the different looks I get really quick, minimal effort, and it's editable. So say I don't want this title here with the transform, but I've got this editable one still that I can still use. That's the original. I've got the transform one that I can still tweak. So it's I could go in here and say, well, okay, I want to change that stroke color. So I can say drag this above this, change these colors now. So now I could say, okay, this stroke color here, double click not that one, sorry. Double click the filter or the effects, go into colors, and I could say, okay, I want maybe this color, I want this darker orange, and hit okay, and then the stroke 2, and go to the color overlay, and I'll say, okay, I want this one to be this color. And of course I could apply a filter to the whole thing and then add the drop shadow to that. Spread that, change the opacity, you know. We've got like our little esports logo thing. It's really simple, but it's effective. It's like, hopefully this was helpful to someone or anyone, I don't know. But yeah. Esports logo title, whatever you call it, I don't know. But yeah, experiment, try new things. Hopefully, some of these things helped. You can see how quick I'm getting different looks using these gradient maps. Editable layers are really good. So these smart layers, definitely if you're interested in it, look into smart layers. And this is where I'm going to end it. I'm happy with that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. Bye bye bye.